Write it down. Pull it out for social. Jason does not believe in Sabrina.
I'm a believer. Wrap them up in that shroud and send them off. Goodbye, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, traumatize the press. Induce a perpetual freeze response. Make them do EMDR before they ask you another question.
Y'all sound to me like when people are like, actually, Daniel LaRusso is the villain of Karate Kid. That's what y'all sound like right now. That's what y'all sound like.
When it gets tough, they don't pull together like a team. They just like fall apart like, shut up. Shut up!
Jason.
Yeah.
I'm already mad. No, I was thinking about something. I think this is unprompted by anything that has happened in the real world.
Okay.
I think that from now on, Six Trophies should be a show where we don't have any sort of biases. We are completely objective.
Okay.
We should not. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We no longer have teams that we root for
or
anything. That's just what I think we should do from now on.
Okay, and that's going to start when? That's going to start after this show or
right now?
During the show?
No, before.
Okay.
Right now. We need to do it right now. Jason, our parade of experts continues once again.
That's right.
We have another guest, an expert on this show.
That's right.
Seerat Sohi, staff writer at the Ringer, our beloved Ringer, host of the Ringer WNBA Show.
Woo!
There was nobody we wanted to talk to more now that the finals are set than Seerat. So here we are. How are you, ma'am?
I'm great. Do you want the answer
Are you?
to the question?
Of who has 6 trophies already?
Yeah, if you include college and the WNBA.
I don't want it.
Stu it.
You don't want it?
Stu it.
I don't want it. And yet here you are.
Yep.
Here you are.
Yeah.
Telling me.
Yeah.
What are you clapping for, Zuri? Don't clap.
Well,
This
so
show's
hold
gonna
on.
suck.
We don't have to be biased. Okay, we're not biased anymore, but we can just be factual. We can just talk about the facts of things
We
that
should
have
only
happened,
talk about
right?
Lynx and Sun. We should only talk about that game.
Okay, right.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. Okay.
Nothing else matters.
All right.
Oh, you know what we can't talk about? I'll tell you
Tell
what
me.
we can talk about.
What's that?
We could talk about this past Friday. One of the twins, the one who was on the football team, they had their homecoming game, and they crushed the other team. It was beautiful.
Wow.
This other team came down from Dallas to play. You know, Texas high school football, they take it very serious. They traveled
big deal.
5.5 hours by bus.
Friday Night
drugged,
Lights.
to just get run off the field. Friday Night Lights. And not only that, but my beloved boy, oh my God.
Go.
He had 2 touchdown saving tackles.
Wow.
One of which a kid, their running back, broke through the line, is hauling ass down the sidelines.
Wow.
We're sitting there in the bleachers. He's coming right past us, and here comes my boy chasing him down like the fucking like the Terminator in Terminator 2 behind the car running. He's running as fast as he can. His little legs are going. There's no way he's going to catch this kid before he gets to the end zone. It's just 30 yards between the kid and the end zone and nobody else, no other defenders. And here comes my boy, and he fucking full body dives. Just hands all the way out, legs all the way out. He looks like that picture of Dennis Rodman trying to get the loose ball.
Getting the loose ball.
Yeah.
He looks exactly like that, and he catches just enough of the kid's cleats with his hands.
Ooh, cleat tackle.
Saves a touchdown.
Game of
Place
inches,
goes
baby.
Fucking nuts. And then the next quarter, he does it. He has a goal line tackle on 3rd down to prevent a touchdown. He played great. He scored also on a 2-point conversion, but he has been more focused on defense now, so I want to celebrate his defense. That's all we need to talk about. We don't need to talk about anything else. All right, it was a great show.
That's
We did it again. We did it again, Jason. Another perfect episode.
That was a small show. In the stilted words of Asia Wilson,
Oh my
this show is a little cramped, but it's fine.
All right. You want to start the show?
Yes, let's start it.
All right. From Wendouree, I'm Shea Serrano.
And I am Jason Concepcion.
And this is 6 Trophies.
Hello! I am Jason Concepcion, and welcome to 6 Trophies, a podcast series hosted by myself and Shea Serrano, in which we comb through all the wonderful news in the NBA, the WNBA for the past week, and then hand out 6 pop culture themed trophies for 6 basketball related activities. In this episode, the New York Liberty are in the finals after trouncing the crooked Las Vegas Aces. JJ Redick already in midseason form, all that and more. Let's hand out some trophies.
We were missing one. Zuri, you didn't put 3 in there. Usually we do 3. This episode, blank.
Choking like the Aces guards.
All that and more.
It's
No
7:30.
production like the Aces guards.
Boom! Boom!
It's 7:30 at night. We're recording this after the game ended. I feel like we're doing a pretty good job so far. And let's just ignore.
You said it's 7:30 at night like that's late.
That's so
Not late, Zuri.
I'm old. It's late. Let's move on.
We do 2 sets of trophies, the big trophies and the little trophies. The big trophies are first. These ones are the same every week. First up, the Denzel Washington and Training Day Trophy, given out to whoever it is who had the best overall performance of the week. This week's winner,
Woo!
the New York Liberty. They look like champions. Seerat, when you were watching this series, 2 questions. Number 1, did you know going in that Liberty have this? There's no question about it. And number 2, after the series was over, were you like, all right, they're definitely going to win the championship?
Yeah, I had the Liberty in 4. So
Good pick.
I felt good about that in hindsight. Every once in a while you're actually right about one of these things, and it's not often. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely one to say I told you so. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought they were gonna win. I had a good feeling about the Liberty guards. Honestly, like defense win championships. I thought that was essentially going to be the point of your story with your son. The things that you were describing, Benijah Laney Hamilton-esque.
Do not connect
Leone
my
Fiebich-esque,
my child to the loss of the Las Vegas Aces. What's wrong with you?
If you could choose your son winning that football game and the Aces winning Game 4, like you could only have one, what would you pick?
I pick him winning the game. He was so proud afterwards. Their homecoming game, the biggest game of the year. It was great. We got 2 championships. We're fine. We're all right. I'm not upset.
No, you sound very high energy and happy. But yeah, no, I thought they were gonna win. I just think that they're a better team. They have better guard play. They have more size. They had all the things that we saw coming, and they have Breanna Stewart, who does a little bit of everything,
Mm-hmm.
Did a little bit of everything and then threw it in their faces afterwards too. So I keep the receipts.
A lot of shit.
Yeah.
A lot of shit. Jason, what were you feeling? What were you feeling as your Liberty were doing it?
I was just feeling wonderful. I was feeling great. There's nothing quite like the sight of, 57-year-old Courtney Vandersloot roasting Kelsey Plum on offense, just going by her at will.
Oh, man.
Jackie Young throwing up brick after brick after brick. They all look tired. Asia looked tired. They look so tired after. You have to say, they went all out to disrupt the Liberty in Game 3, and basically took Sabrina out of the game. Mm-hmm. Expended a tremendous amount of energy doing that, and the Aces are they're a ferocious team, and they're very, very smart. They understand that the W refs are at times shaky, and they just foul you they're just physical and fouling you all the time. Now, usually there's it feels like there's more of an edge to that, and in this game it just felt sloppy. It felt like they're slow, they're grabbing, their strategy was like, let's just rough up the Liberty and see if anything happens. And it just wasn't enough this time. Asia was looking for help and was not getting it. Plum had a nice game offensively, but again, I think defensively was getting run. by Sabrina, by Sloot, just getting run, and then no production from Young or Gray, which is, I think, the killer. And it was just fantastic. It was wonderful. It was cathartic. After all the shit, and Stewie talked a little bit about it after they, so all the fucking shit on Kelsey Plum being like, well, you look over there and it's a team of individuals. They don't care about each other. They're not a real team. You can tell when it gets tough. They don't pull together like a team. They just like fall apart. Like, shut up. Shut up! A retired lady, a basically retired lady, just killed you on offense. Get out of here! I loved it. I loved watching it.
It was miserable. I thought after the game 3 that they had locked into something.
Yeah.
I thought they looked good. That was the best they had looked in all the playoffs. Was that game 3 where it was like, they were everywhere. All of it. It looked like they had 7 players on defense. And Sabrina just couldn't get anything going. And I was like, please, just give us one more of those. Let's get back in New York and see what happens.
It was kind of like when a dying person has a surge.
Yeah, that's what it
gives you a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
In hindsight, that's what it was, yeah. And I thought Sabrina was their best player this series. We talked about it before. She looks like she's not going to lose right now.
Yeah,
she looks like she knows
player.
She's the best player on the court every single time. She's so mean right now, and it's intimidating. Asia didn't shoot the ball enough. The season is on the line. You can't shoot it 13 times.
Yeah,
you got to shoot it 24 times right now, especially if Jackie Young is going to go 1 for 10, if Chelsea Gray is going to go 3 for 8. Kelsey Plum had 17 points, but she missed 11 of her 16 shots. Like, I kept waiting for Asia to be like, fuck it, here we go. Like I've seen her do for the past 2 years, and it wasn't there this time. I will say that we had 5 players who went to the Olympics. We looked tired. We looked tired when it mattered the most, and I'm sad. I'm bummed out, Seerat. This is the worst.
I'm sorry. I've been giving you a hard time too. I feel like I've been trying to break you, trying to get you to this point, but it really is out of love though, because once we work through all of this stuff, we can move past it and we can come back the next season, maybe like the Aces, or maybe you want to do the Aces thing and like finally have a bad taste in your mouth for the first time in a long time. Look, this is the first time Asia is walking out with an L since 2021. It's been a long time since she's ended the season with an L.
It's been a long time.
And the last time for you, too. So, sometimes you need to experience these emotions in order to regain what you've lost, because at Liberty, they had like the focusing power of anger. They had the focusing power of pain. They had all of that shit in their mind, all of the Kelsey Plum stuff, the 3 for 17 from Becky. Becky, who, by the way, honestly, here's the best thing about an Aces loss is that Becky's going to give you a fucking sermon every single time the Aces lose. She's out there like a movie football coach. Like,
let me ask you. I'm glad we're talking about Becky. Does Becky know she has a bench? Does Becky know that there are other players on the bench?
There's only one player on that bench, Tiffany Hayes. That's the only person she sees. Nobody else.
What happened to Kate Martin? What happened to Kate Martin, man? Like the entire
she's
season.
She's a feel-good story of the season. Like,
she was. Leonie Fibich now has the best rookie season. Like the most. She literally stole the good vibes rookie season from Kate Martin. But Becky was definitely a co-conspirator in that. Like, what happened, man?
For whatever reason, she just lost trust in Kate Martin and wanted to go with the horses that had got them there several times. And I think, in retrospect, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. I think in this situation, you had to see what else you could get, particularly when you're getting basically no production from your guards outside of Kelsey Plum. Like nothing.
I thought that Leonie was just a killer.
She was so much for she was everything.
Like that. Like if you look at when Aces and Liberty played last season versus this season, Leonie did all of the stuff that the Liberty didn't get to do in that series against him. She, step in and get a ball, hit a shot, do it. Like she's a big body out there too. Like she was just doing all of the shit that the Liberty were missing to beat them last year. And I think she's like a swing point. You already knew Sabrina Brianna and Jonquil are going to do what they do. You don't have to worry about those three. All of a sudden, you have this other player who you didn't even account for.
Yeah.
You didn't even think about it. And here she fucking comes. What a disaster.
Wrap them up! Get them, wrap them up in one of Becky Hammon's spare bedazzled hoodies / blazers. Wrap them up in that shroud and send them off. Goodbye, baby. Yeah. I love it. I love to
Next trophy.
see it.
The Lauryn Hill, you might win some, but you just lost one trophy. Give it out to whoever it is who had the worst overall performance of the week. This week's winner, suspenseful Game 5s. We got 0. We were supposed to get 2, and we got 0. The Aces didn't even make it to a Game 5. Don't cheer for that.
The Venmo's on the way, sorry.
Like I'm playing a road game right now. The Aces don't make it to Game 5. The Minnesota Lynx run the Connecticut Sun off the court. Were either of you surprised by the result of this game, by the way that it looked? But it was over in the second quarter.
Very surprised. Very surprised. I did not think that this was going to be a blowout at all. I thought it was going to be a very close game. I thought it was going to come down to, multiple overtimes, and the WNBA was going to have to step in and say, look, we can't keep doing this. We're going to make this a Marina Mabry, Bridget Carlton shootout, the first ever 3-point shootout to decide who wins a game. I thought that's how the series is gone. That's how the entire, in the regular season and the playoffs. These guys had a series score of the Sun being up 1 throughout all those games. If you took the cumulative score of all those games. So I'm shocked, honestly. But I don't know, man. I feel like there were a number of factors going into it. Minnesota was just hitting all their threes. Kayla McBride came out and was just I'm shooting them tonight. Fee was awesome. She's getting every offensive rebound. Bree Jones played too much. And then she played way too much in the second half when Marina Mabry, who, by the way, I have to eat a little bit of crow here. On my podcast, I said that the Minnesota crowd was not going to be, mean enough to provide a home court advantage. They've got the Minnesota nice, Canadian, stepbrother thing going on. As soon as Marina came into the game, she's getting booed. She sprains her ankle. We don't really see her in the second half. And, it just felt like Sun couldn't get any offense going as hard as they tried on defense. Yeah. Dejanay Carrington. And, she's, basically powering a run of her own to start the second half. But just nothing doing in terms of shooting. That's their story without Mabry. So I guess if you told me that she was going to get hurt, none of this would have been too surprising.
Yeah, I'm surprised and not surprised, I guess. The Lynx, having the best player in the series is a huge edge. And the Lynx have the best player by far in the series. Probably the best player in the league. Fee. Probably the best player in the league now.
Relax.
And the Sun, the ball would not go in, and I think when Mabry twisted her ankle, she's their primary deep threat. And
on a cameraman.
Yeah, on a cameraman. That was tough. And, without that 3-point edge, they just could not get any spacing, could not get anything going to the basket, kept shooting, shots were spraying all over the place. Then you add the turnovers, and it just looked bad. It's such a huge release valve for Minnesota to have Fee as either your devastating scorer, just throw it into her, she'll make something happen, or as a decoy so you get your shooters going, and it was just too much. I think the final score does not really portray what a complete domination this game was.
I thought Heidemann was incredible. I just loved her coming in and just she sprints everywhere.
Yeah.
She has never taken a just walking step in the game. She's just fucking full speed. You see her when she's when somebody's shooting a free throw and she's at the 3-point line. As soon as the ball goes up, she's in there, or dribbling the ball up the court, everywhere. I thought she was incredible. Courtney Williams was probably the player of the game. You of course have Fee doing what Fee does, but Courtney Williams, she goes 4 for 4 in the first quarter, and you're like, all right, this is not going to go that great for Connecticut. They just couldn't keep up. That we had talked before about These are the two best defensive teams in the league.
Yeah.
And the Connecticut Sun are not going to score a bunch of points, but they're usually not going to let you score a bunch of points either. So can the Minnesota Lynx win 3 low-scoring games? And then it turns out they didn't have to win 3 low-scoring games because they just went fucking bonkers in Game 5 with a high-scoring game, and they just ran too fast for Connecticut.
And to Seerat's point, is this the first game in the series without a Marina Mabrey-centric, like, dust-up? Like, we didn't have that kind of edge and fight, and I think not having that is a big reason why they lost. They just could not get their arms around the Lynx.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little bit in mourning because I was really looking forward to Marina Mabrey versus Spike Lee. I was like trying to set the over-under for how soon she would turn into like the Trae Young of the 2024 WNBA Finals, just like drawing with the crowd, cupping her ear. Like, I thought it was gonna get pretty spicy with there, and like honestly, the whole Sun team, you know. And I don't like the Lynx. They can get a little bit spicy. I think we've seen Fee gets more spicy than we normally do, but like, you know, all in all, it's a pretty nice team, and I just feel like we're gonna get a lot of beautiful basketball, but we're not gonna get as many technical fouls, and like that's just something I don't feel good about.
I agree. The jersey in Mabrey is very, very strong. It's got a strong element of jersey that exudes from her. That would have been great, man. Spike versus Mabrey would have been good.
The one thing that I was thinking when I was watching this game, and when Minnesota was just sort of rolling, just everything was going great. Kayla McBride shooting the ball incredibly. Former Aces sharpshooter Kayla McBride. We get 10% of the championship if she and the Minnesota Lynx beat the Liberty. The Aces get 10% of that. But one thing I was thinking when that game was going was last week when I was talking to L. Duncan for the show, I mentioned I thought the Lynx were going to win, but I wanted the Sun to win because I felt like the Sun were going to be a tougher out against the New York Liberty, right? The New York Liberty seem, 2 steps better than everybody else, but I thought the Sun they can be as mean as the Liberty. And I didn't feel like that about the Lynx. But while I was watching this game and they got to rolling, I thought maybe the Lynx have a chance. Maybe they can go in there. Maybe they can cause some trouble. Maybe Fee gets going. The shooters get shooting. Maybe them little guards are they're giving up much less layups, which the Liberty just fucking killed the Aces with. Like, maybe there's a chance. Maybe we can do it. Let's go Lynx.
I was straight up rooting for the Sun because, but listen, I think we beat the Sun 3-1 during the season. The Lynx beat us 3-1. Fee, I think you could argue, would be the best player on the court. And that's a dangerous combination. That's a good team. I'm concerned about Fee. I did not want to play the Lynx, but of course we'll play anybody. And it's I figure we managed Asia, can manage Fee hopefully. But I was kind of hoping for the Sun.
Yeah, I think the problem is that Fee can manage Stewie, and then Alana Smith can manage John Quell, and then you've got a whole bunch of defenders to throw at Sabrina Ionescu, who, saw the trap from the Aces, but that trap is not going to be nearly as effective as what we're going to get in this series with Fee and Alana and Bridget Carlton and Courtney Williams and Kayla McBride. Like, I just think that is going to be a whole new puzzle for her to solve because everybody else in that back line is a lot faster too. Also, like, this team is like, man, like they have every single player that has like a surprising wingspan other than Phoebich. Phoebich has like a 6'9" wingspan too, which I guess when you watch her shouldn't be that surprising either. But I just feel like it could just turn into like turnover galore, and then we could see what we saw in the Commissioner's Cup where the Liberty get a little bit shy of passing the ball and they just start playing one-on-one, and then like you're trying to play one-on-one against these great one-on-one defenders, and then once you that's the problem with the Sun this game too. Is like once you start missing your shots against the Lynx, it's kind of over. They're just gonna run and they're just gonna get like Fee on a slip, or like Bridget Carlton's gonna get an open 3, Alana Smith is gonna get an open 3. Worst case, like you get like a Courtney Williams mid-ranger, which she was just bombing tonight, and she tends to bomb when she's open. So yeah, I haven't really it just ended, but I would probably lean Lynx in this series.
Are the Lynx gonna win? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me right now?
I think it'll go 5. I think they have, the Liberty have the experience factor. That's a big.
Are the Lynx going to win? Yes or no?
Shit. Don't do this to me. Not yet.
I mean,
Give me 12 hours.
I'll say this: there are still questions that I have about this Liberty team. I think Seerat kind of put her finger on it. Like when you can make Sabrina like a passer and a playmaker, I think that's a hole in her game. I think she's a lazy passer at times. She just kind of floats it up there, and she can be very predictable in the way she runs pick and roll. And as we saw in Game 3, she's disruptible, and I do worry about that. I worry about it. I think she's attackable. She's made tremendous strides this year in changing up her game and giving defenders less to focus on. She's got more counters. She can go to the hole. She's got that floater, which has totally opened up her game. But I think when she's just looking to play make, if you can make her into a playmaker, she's lazy with the ball sometimes, and I'm concerned.
Write it down. Pull it out for social. Jason does not believe in Sabrina.
Yeah, I'm a believer.
She's a lazy basketball player. Next trophy. Dominic Toretto, I live my life a quarter mile at a time trophy. Given out to whoever it is who made a short-term decision with no regard for future consequence. This week's winner, whoever that reporter was who asked JJ Redick about Rui Hachimura's potential. JJ Redick, I love this. Immediately
play the
bullied
clip.
It. Can we hear the clip,
yeah.
Zuri?
JJ, what did you see out of Rui for the Olympics? Make you think you can take that next step? What is the next step? You tell me. You're creating the narrative. You tell me. What is the next step? I don't care. I don't care about what the next step for Rui is. I care about how he impacts the team. And for me, that's my next step.
Here is why I propose this for Toretto. I live my life a quarter of a mile trophy. What are the Lakers going to finish? What do we think? 6th, 5th, maybe?
Yeah, somewhere
6th,
around
7th?
there.
Around there, 5th, yeah.
And listen, I think JJ Redick is going to go 82-0 versus reporters this year. Like I think you can put that one in the bag. They're going to have JJ is going to have a great game against the reporters every game. That said, I think you might want to be nicer to these guys. I'm just saying, because I think it's going to be a tough season. You're a first-year coach. This is, did you I don't want to get into did he jump the line, but he's a first-year coach. It's a first coaching experience of the Los Angeles Lakers. Tons of pressure. And the team is not that good in a stacked West. Stacked. Maybe be nicer to these guys who are making like $42.5 a year and are trying not to get. No,
that was Brad Turner. Have you seen the suits Brad Turner wears? He's making good money. I can tell you that.
It's Brad. It's Brad. I didn't realize it was Brad. But still, I think maybe be a little gentler to these guys, JJ. But I loved it. I did love this.
Yeah, I disagree with you on this one. I think I have a theory. I was just talking with the baby about this, my youngest son. And I was telling him, if somebody is like messing with you or doing something and you want them to stop, and you don't want anybody else to mess with you, what you got to do is you got to overreact. Like the first time, just overreact. Yeah. And if you if let's say you're playing with your friends and your friend like lightly shoves you,
punch him in the neck,
in the back or whatever. Yeah, you just fucking just pop
right in the
punch him.
Disproportionate. Yeah.
Right in the Adam's apple.
Right in the Adam's apple, you punch him. Never again will he shove you in the chest, nor will anybody else, because they'd be like, that kid is fucking, there's something wrong with him. All he did was touch his shoulder and he fucking crushed his Adam's apple. Like, I think if you do that, which JJ did here, Turner asked him a very reasonable question. Can Rui make the next step? And JJ was immediately confrontational. Like, that's a very normal question.
Immediately.
That's a very normal question to ask. And then JJ was like, "You tell me, what's the next step?" And you're like, "Oh shit!" Like everybody around them got nervous.
Yeah, everybody's
right
beads of sweat on everybody's forehead.
Such a smart play, such a like Greg Popovich, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley kind of play to do immediately. And you're like, I love it.
Yeah, traumatize the press. Induce a perpetual freeze response.
Now,
make them do EMDR before they ask you another question.
Now, those coaches you mentioned, Shea, they all have multiple championships, right? And coached for many, many years in the league. I think that I agree with you that is a tactic to overreact. I think the thing is, the reporters are just they're going to retreat to the hills. And they're going to snipe. They're going to snipe at this team. They're going to snipe at JJ from afar, not in his presence. And they're going to take little shots. And those little shots, they're going to add up over time when all of a sudden you're like 12 and 13 and everybody's wondering what the fuck is wrong with the Lakers.
So I would argue JJ is actually really well positioned to do something like this. It feeds more into the narrative that he's the next Pat Riley, because Pat Riley also came out guns blazing when he became a coach too, as well. Immediately. He also, this is a guy who has had his own podcast. He's a former ESPN person. I think like the larger mainstream media, they're already his friends. He was a guy who had a lot of friends in the media before he even retired. He was like one of the few players that was like actually going to dinner with reporters and stuff. He was also a little older at that point as well. But beyond that, this is the Lakers we're talking about. People are going to be sniping anyway, whether you do a good job or a bad job. This might actually be the most appropriate reaction you could have as a Lakers coach. Like, you just indiscriminately swiping everything away, like, and also just the fact that he picked that question, like, there have been more combative, like, just always keep them on their toes. Always keep them on their toes. There's no such thing as a safe question. Not around JJ. Sign me up.
Not around
Sign
JJ.
me up. I am pro JJ. Remember Jay-Z in a song? He said the Nets could go over 82, and I look at you like this, like. That's how I feel about the Lakers. The Lakers could go over 82, and I'll be still pro JJ. I'm on JJ's side. Next trophy, the Daniel Plainview. I've abandoned my child. I've abandoned my boy trophy. They're just giving out to whoever it is we're temporarily giving up on for the week. This week's winner, Becky Hammon.
Damn.
For giving up on the Aces. She said they're splitting up. They're probably not going to be together. They're probably not going to be together next season. I'm paraphrasing.
She said it. She's playing the organ at the Aces funeral. She said, end quote, it's not going to be the same group probably next year. It just won't. And I'm sad about that because I really like that group. They're a pain in my ass, but I was a pain in their ass too, but I like that group. I love that group. But they're gone, Shay. Somebody's leaving. Somebody is gone. And probably several somebodies.
Yeah, probably.
It feels like Becky's been a press conference ahead for the entire postseason, but especially this past series. They go down. Well, first she calls Game 2 a must-win. They go down in Game 2, and she starts. It sounds like a concession speech, what she's giving out there. Like the way that she's talking about her players, the way she's talking about the season as a whole and how everybody got distracted and they got all their commercials.
Too many commercials.
Yeah. But who is she talking about there?
I mean, she's I just think she shouldn't be too worried about the commercials because again, if you've seen the CarMax commercial with Asia behind the drivers, she's not trying that hard in that commercial. She's really expending very little energy. Her line reading is horrendous, and. It's a little cramped, but it's fine. Come on. So don't worry, Becky. She's not even trying at those commercials.
Listen, unrestricted free agents. Yeah. Unrestricted free agents this season this offseason for the Las Vegas Aces. Kelsey Plum. You gotta bring her back.
Team of individuals.
Alicia Clark. who I thought was great against Brianna.
Yeah, I think
I thought she did. You know,
solid.
she did well. Tiffany Hayes. Let's bring her back. She was. I mean, she won. Sixth Woman of the Year. Like you need that. Sydney Colson.
Love her, but Kate Martin should have had her minutes.
Love her. Let's bring her back. Also, I don't want to lose any of them.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting to. All four of them. Bring
Las Vegas Aces GM Shea Serrano.
Shea Serrano, bring them all back.
Let's run it back.
Whatever the tax apron is, we're going over it. That's what we're doing. Sign them. Give them their money.
They tried. They tried going over the tax apron via the Las Vegas Tourism Board. It didn't work out so well.
We'll figure it out.
And we await with bated breath the results of the investigation into the cheating Aces circumvention of the salary cap through the Las Vegas Tourism Board. What happened with that? Or will we ever discover
it's never
the depth of their cheating?
Never. Next trophy. The Chief Keef, that's that shit I don't like trophy, which is given out to a player team who does something, and we just don't like it. We don't like it. This week's winner, the Welcome to the W commercial. That Jason, for some reason, hates. I'm going to disagree with you on this, Jason.
Here's why I hate it, okay?
Okay.
So, so for anybody who's watched the W, you've seen this commercial a lot. Sheila Swish is there in the office, and she says, a bunch of stuff. Play the first bit of the clip if you have it, Suri, of the commercial.
Hello, aloha, howdy, hey y'all, and welcome to the W. Here in the W, we pride ourselves on having a super welcoming.
Okay. So they set up the basic rubric, the thematic structure of the commercial in that first 10 seconds, right? It's subversion. Oh, you think that the W is super welcoming and everybody's nice. No, we're ferocious. We're playing in intense games. You think it's low stakes? No, it's high stakes. Then all of a sudden, in the middle of the script, it goes to, we are devoted to working extra, extra hard. Okay. We've been delivering astounding results since 1997. Okay. Because this is the place where basketball matters, assorted high. And after each of these things, there's little highlights. Notice that it changes from, here's your misconception of the league, that it's low stakes, blah, blah, blah. Here's the real thing. To all of a sudden it goes, here's the real thing, and then the answer is just a mirror image through highlights of what they just said. And it doesn't hold together thematically. In the middle, they switch how they are communicating what the league is. So by the formulation that they started with, when Sheila Swish says, because this is a place where basketball matters, does that mean now that basketball doesn't matter in the W? This doesn't make sense. Why is the commercial written like this?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but also, like, come on.
What do you mean? Can we just have like a great commercial that communicates how awesome the league is? Why does it switch up in the middle? And it's like, we are devoted to working extra, extra hard. So you're not working hard? So they're not working hard. They're not working hard in the W? We have been delivering astounding results since 1997. So you haven't been delivering? What's going on?
Sarah, do you have any thoughts on this commercial?
Honestly, I was coming in ready to disagree with Jason, but I think he nailed exactly how I feel about this commercial. It's undercooked. Mm-hmm. It's a really good concept. Thank you. It's a great concept. But it also has like some issues
at the beginning,
like as far as like the music goes as well. Yeah, like it starts off kind of with the cadence of an airline like introduction, because it does like hey in multiple different, not languages, but like the aloha, howdy, hey thing. Also, like if I'm nitpicking aloha, I don't know. Are we sure?
But Sheila Swish saying, if you love real basketball, welcome to the W, in the same cadence that she says the W is a low stakes environment. Like what? You're confusing us.
Yeah.
So you need some sort of pivot or switch in the middle of it to go like we're changing.
No, they did pivot. The problem is it pivoted.
It needs to stay with, here's what you think the league is. No, the league is this. The league is is awesome with awesome players, and we're playing really hard, and every game matters. And
Yeah, they
it's
had a really fun contrast going.
yeah, stars that you know and stars that you never heard of. Instead, it becomes this like almost
y'all are
playing
overthinking
into
it.
your misconceptions
you're
of the league.
overthinking
Yeah,
it.
it's like it's frilly and whatever. I think this commercial sucks.
Y'all sound to me like
Okay.
when people are like, actually, Daniel LaRusso is the villain of Karate
Okay,
Kid. and
no.
here's- That's what y'all sound like right now. That's what y'all sound like.
No,
Just super overthinking it. But sure. Next trophy. The Step Brothers Catalina Wine Mixer Trophy. Given out to the thing we're most excited about for the upcoming week. This week's winner, we got 2! Because of the Olympics and everything, the schedules are all mushed around the WNBA Finals and the start of the NBA season all at the same time.
Can't wait.
It's fucking basketball nirvana, baby. Basketball nirvana. All right, Seerat, it's been enough time now. Are the Lynx going to win the championship? You had time. You had time to think about it.
No, I gotta go with my gut. My gut says the Liberty are gonna win this. I think they're gonna take them 5 games. I think there's gonna be some moments where like the Lynx have them on the brink, but I do think that I think they're gonna pull this out. I think they figured some stuff out about themselves against the Aces. I think Sabrina figured out how to work with the trap. Stewie as a playmaker, all that stuff. It all kind of worked out in their favor because now they've seen what the Lynx are going to throw at them, and they're going to see more of it, and they've made really good adjustments throughout the series, and I think they'll continue to do that, and they just have more firepower, and they have home court advantage, and they have Ellie, and they're going to have Spike Lee, and they're going to have all of like the collective power of that, and I just think that they are meant to win.
Finals MVP. Who is it?
Stewie.
Oh.
What's an unexpected storyline that's going to happen? Something we're not thinking about that you go, this is for sure going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Make a prediction.
Interesting. I think Courtney Williams' dad is going to get into it with Spike Lee.
Oh, I love this. I love this.
okay.
I love this idea.
Okay.
This is
And
great.
He's been the hype man.
He has
He's a
been
great basketball dad.
extremely
He's a
Yeah,
great
animated.
he's
basketball dad.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Carl Towns
love
is going to show up to a Lynx game
I think
as
that
well.
will happen.
I don't know
Yeah,
what's
I
going to
really
happen
like-
when he shows up, but I think, anytime he's in the building, get interesting. Yeah.
I really like not saying the Anthony part of his name, just Carl Towns. That's great. Let's
We
just
all
do
know
that
who
from
we
now
all
on.
know who we're talking about.
I'm stuck in this weird position. Jason, because here's
Okay.
what I want to happen. I want the
Right.
New York Liberty to lose. I want
Okay.
them to lose in the most embarrassing way possible.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Okay.
Part of me wants for Fee to show up and hang 84 points over the first 2 games. Like she did at the start of the playoff. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like where she just goes nuts.
She's
and
38.
and they steal those first
Yeah.
2 games and 38 and 42 or something goofy like that.
If let's say
And-
let's say she does that, do you think that if she does pull that off, she wins Finals MVP, would that give her the best individual season this year?
No, it wouldn't. I don't care.
Just a
I don't care
question.
about any of that. Listen, so I'm thinking, what if she does that and they go up there to New York and they steal those first 2 games and New York has to go back to Minnesota? Like, what the fuck just happened? And they get swept, right? I think that would be hilarious. That would be awesome. However, another part of me wants for the New York Liberty to win because I love when a league has a villain. And that's what the Liberty are shaping up to be right now. Because
You
they're
think the
probably going to
Liberty
win this
is the villain?
championship, right? Yes, I think they're going to win this championship. And then next season, they're probably going to be the favorites to win again.
Come on.
And it's easy to hate whoever's winning, right?
People do
Like, this
always
is- this
say
is a
Liberty
real-
versus everybody. I've heard that before.
Right? Yeah, they're the only team that says that.
Yeah, right.
But it's feeling like you start to go like, oh, well, this is stupid. Like they built
yeah.
a super team and they got 2 league MVPs and Sabrina and whatever like that. You know what I mean? Like they become the Lakers.
This is like-
and I
this
kind
is
of
like
like
a-
that. I kind of like to sports hate a team.
This is like a guy working in the Death Star saying, you know what, the Rebel Alliance really needs some bad guys. We need some bad guys over there. The Aces, all the winning, all the talking, wearing the Timbs, talking shit about Breanna Stewart after her father-in-law passed away because she had a bad game, calling them a team of individuals. The Aces are the villain. Las Vegas Aces, the villain of the W.
They're out of the playoffs. I don't care.
Okay,
they're out of the playoffs. That means they're out of the discussion.
Okay.
That's what it is. Now you have to deal with that. Now you deal with that. Now people are not gonna.
Okay.
Now people are not gonna like your team. And you have to deal with that.
I think the Liberty. I think they're a feel-good story.
Part of me wants them to lose in a very embarrassing way, but another part of me wants them to win.
All right.
A feel-good story. How are they a feel-good story?
I would argue they were on the verge of becoming league darlings. I think there's a lot of untapped likability on that team. Starting with Jonquel Jones. So? I am so excited for the mainstreamification of Jonquel Jones, who is not only a very fun player to watch, makes incredible passes, but also just has a great vibe, you know.
Great vibe.
I want a good Jonquel Jones press conference. She's awesome. She's awesome. There's a lot of Leonie Fiebich is likable. Sandy Brondello, who, by the way, took a big hit at 56 years old from Jonquel and just got right up. I couldn't do that. I think Sabrina's showing more personality. She's not been one to show much.
They're done. If they were darlings before, they're not going to be. In 2 weeks' time, everybody's going to hate them. That's what's going to happen.
You got to give it a year. Got to give it a year for people to hate
super hate them. Super hate them. I really hope the Lynx.
They have not. They have. First of all, they have not won enough. They got to win first. They have not talked enough shit, and they haven't circumvented the salary cap enough and cheated enough, like the Las Vegas Aces, to be the villains of the W. It's going to take some time to get up to that level.
Yeah. I mean, they did try to do the charter flight thing, but honestly, they came out looking like winners. The W ended up looking like the villains for preventing their players from taking charter flights and taking the side of the owners who would not provide those.
Here's what I'll say to close out.
Okay.
The New York Liberty suck. They can all go to hell. The Las Vegas Aces are awesome, and I can't wait for them to win the championship next season. And Seerat, this was wonderful. Thank you for joining the show. We appreciate you coming on late. We appreciate all of your wonderful insight and knowledge and jokes. You're the best.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to do it. Of course. Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening, make sure you go subscribe to Seerat's show, the Ringer WNBA Show. Go read all of her stuff that she's writing on the website. It's wonderful. It's great. Thank you again, Seerat. You're the best. That was great. She was great. Even though y'all were double teaming me. It was terrible, but great. You want to do the little trophies?
Let's do them.
Let's do the little trophies. These ones change each week and are situation specific. They're for the smaller storylines that we want to mention but don't need to get all the way into. My first little trophy. This is the Marlowe in the Wire. You know, when I ran the shop and my numbers dropped, I damn sure did something about it. Trophy. The Shams. Yeah. Taking over Woj's spot at ESPN.
Hello.
Much like how Marlowe took over Avon's spot in Baltimore. Woj went out. Here comes Shams.
Did you see that Woj tweeted that Shams called him about his retirement, and he said he wishes Shams the best and hopes he has all the success that he had. So like the feud is over. It reminded me, seeing that tweet reminded me of when Magic Johnson went to Larry Bird's retirement and then opened up the Lakers jersey and had the Celtics the Larry Bird jersey underneath.
The Celtic shirt.
My first little trophy is the Castaway.
That was a great moment.
I know what I have to do now. I got to keep breathing because tomorrow the sun will rise and who knows what the tide will bring. Trophy 2 to Kawhi Leonard for talking about all the new players the Clippers have brought in a spectacular quote that ends with him basically saying, and none of them have showed me anything. Play the quote, sir.
I mean, just the new guys, just watching them, the new additions we have from, Chris Dunn to Derrick Jones Jr., to some of the young guys that we brought in and, with Kai Jones last year, and just seeing, how they could develop. So just watching them from day 1 to day 2 to day 3, just seeing their progression. but no, nobody stood out to me so far.
That's got to be the coldest quote by a teammate ever. It's so dope. It's so cold.
You're sitting there listening. You're Chris Dunn listening, and he's like, "Oh shit, Kawhi Leonard's talking about me. He's saying stuff about me."
Confidence goes through the floor down to the earth's core. Confidence is gone.
My next little trophy. This is crazy. My next little trophy. The Al Pacino in Scent of a Woman.
Yeah.
I show you out of order. Trophy. To Rudy Gobert, who, when responding to Defensive Player of the Year criticisms, said, quote, "Show me who should have won."
Uh-oh.
I'll tell you who should have won, Rudy. How about the guy who led the league in blocks, despite playing less than 30 minutes per game? How about the guy who was second in the league in defensive box plus minus? How about that guy? How about Wemby? How about my boy Wemby? That's who should have won.
He's going to win this year. He's going to win this year.
He's got to.
My second little trophy is the Donnie Brasco Fugazi. A Fugazi? Yeah, fake. Trophy 2. So the Celtics played the Nuggets in Abu Dhabi as part of the preseason, right? Courting the golf money. Mm-hmm. And a reporter asked Jason Tatum if his watch was fake. You got to play the clip, Zuri.
JT, I'm sorry, I have to ask this. Is that a real watch you wearing, or something? Like, you look like a kid's watch or something, no?
He says it looks like a kid's watch.
All right, the real question is the next one. Could you share your thoughts about your...
That was crazy. You got
that fake watch on?
That was crazy.
That's so good. And I love that he, like, with the, calls him by his nickname, his initials, to be like, yeah, between us, JT, just got to ask you, is that a fake, is that a kid's watch? Is that JT. A McDonald's Happy Meal watch you're wearing?
And the watch he was wearing was like $2 million, right? Like.
Yeah.
That sucks. That sucks. You paid all that money, and then a guy asks you, is that a kid's watch you're wearing? That's 2 Al Pacino movies in a row. Scent of a Woman and Donnie Brasco. Donnie Brasco.
Hoo-ah! You want to know what they're looking at?
What are they looking at?
You want to know what they're looking at? Mm-hmm. They're looking at us. LAPD. Police Department. We just got made.
My last little short. We should do an all Al Pacino episode.
Yeah, we should.
I don't know what the structure would be, but we're just all Al Pacino. My next little trophy. My last little trophy. The Matthew McConaughey and True Detective. Someone once told me time is a flat circle trophy. To Zach Edey and Yuki Kawamura, who created the iconic Minute Bowl Muggsy Bogues Media Day photo. One short guy, one tall guy. Great. I love it. Great. I already love these 2 guys. I'm rooting for them. Way to go.
They did Yuki a little dirty.
A little bit.
It's Yuki 5'8". Come on. Muggsy was 5'3". It was still awesome. My final little trophy is the Chapel Roan Hot to Go trophy to Sean, Hayes, and Carl of the Flagrant Ones podcast or the Hollywood Handbook podcast. Either of those podcasts featuring those talented individuals is worth your time for their Chapel Roan Knicks-themed parody song, Fibago.
I love it. Shout out Sean, Hayes, and Carl. I love it. We did it again, Jason. Another perfect episode.
Once again.
We close every episode just by saying the names of underappreciated old basketball players with no context at all while the theme music carries us out. Zuri, will you play the theme music, please? I'm Shea Serrano. That's Jason Concepcion. Producer Zuri in the shadows making the noises. See y'all next Wednesday. I'm playing them into the sunset. All my players, okay. Las Vegas Aces, Asia Wilson.
I am similarly saying goodbye to a bunch of people who hail from Las Vegas. Let's start with Andre Agassi, tennis legend, native of Las Vegas. Goodbye, Andre.
Kelsey Plum.
Brandon Flowers, lead singer of the Las Vegas-based rock group The Killers, currently starting their concert series at Caesar's Palace. Goodbye, Brandon Flowers. Goodbye, the Killers.
Kate Martin.
Oh, Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, so proud of his Las Vegas roots, fan of UNLV.